Hello, how's everybody tonight?
Hey, everybody.
Uh, Let me get everything situated here. Well, I feel like we're not. I feel like I'm not
Did you
right
shrink?
here. I shrunk or something.
Did you shrink
I think it'd be better if we put it down there,
by your toes?
down by my toes, and
How
just
you get you can't do that stuff?
here, scoot over by me.
Okay, so I got something to tell you guys. So we're what? Hey, stop chasing the cat. We are here in Wisconsin, staying on a property of a friend of our daughter's, and now he's a friend of ours. He's like a son to us. But anyway, um, if any of y'all are following our other channel, last week you'll hear about this, but last week when we were leaving the campground, Moses got out. It took us almost 2 hours to get him back in, so we were late getting here. So when we got here, Tommy opened the door to go out. The cat ran out, and so when he did, Tommy said, "I'm not chasing that cat. He can come back if he wants to. This is ridiculous." And y'all, ever since that time, we don't chase him. We just go to the door and call him. He comes running back in. I feed him a little bit of food every time he comes in, of some good treats. But he'll go to the door and he'll meow and scratch on the door, and then he'll go and sit on the steps wanting back in. It's amazing. So the cat has done really well. The only time we're going to put him in the bathroom where he can't get out is when we stop at a gas station
Yeah,
or
get Diesel or
someplace. Yeah,
somewhere like that. Then he needs to.
y'all leave the come here, leave the cat alone. What is y'all's problem?
And it's weird because Maggie will, if he's been out all day, or if he's out there and Maggie didn't recognize him, Maggie will bark at him. But when the cat runs into the RV, Maggie head nudge him. They'll nudge each other, and she'll smell of him to find out if that's her brother. So it's kind of weird.
We got sad news tonight.
Yeah, we got a few sad news. We got some sad news. The baby that they were looking for in Milwaukee, they found him dead today in a dumpster. Right there it is, discovered inside a dumpster. The suspect, of course, we know killed himself, and they have
arrested several people.
Arrested several people around this case. So
in the death of his mother,
right, the death of his mother, which I don't understand exactly what that's all about, but. And they've had, I mean, we're, even though we're in a really safe area where we're staying now.
Uh-oh.
No, we're in a safe area where we're staying now. They had a shooting in a parking lot of a convenience store right up the road from us. So, it doesn't matter where you stay. You can
become a victim
or you could roll up on somebody that's had road rage or whatever.
Well, y'all know the situation with our son and everything that he's. Leave the cat alone. The situation with our son and all the things that have happened to him in the past 18 months, going to Nashville, COVID hitting, the tornadoes hitting downtown Nashville, the riots downtown Nashville, the bombing downtown Nashville. The other night, we may have told you this. The other night, Maggie, get down. He walked to a restaurant with a friend of his that she had come to visit, and he said they were standing outside waiting to get their food, and all of a sudden there were gunshots across the street.
Yeah, it's a place where at night you walk up to a window and order, and it's right down in downtown Nashville. It's like from 2 blocks from his apartment.
Yeah.
And 3 blocks from Music Row. So, I mean, it's real close.
And it's a safe area, supposedly. But you just never know.
Yeah, he said he heard arguing. They all turned around and looked. The guy was arguing with a girl outside a car. They got inside the car, and they heard 6 shots in the car. Boom, 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 boom. And the guy rolls out on the ground. So they had a shooting right there in front of him. So it was bad. But anyway, so you never know. You could be a victim anywhere.
Be aware of your surroundings. Don't be lulled into thinking you're safe no matter where you are. And a lot of times
sit your back to the door. That's what I mean. Yeah. Don't sit your back to the door. That's what I do. It's been ever since I was in law enforcement. If you ever see it, just makes more sense to have your back against the wall and
If I
facing
want to mess
outward.
with him when we go into a restaurant to sit down and eat, I put my back to the wall and he
It
goes,
drives me
"Really?
crazy.
You going
It
to do
drives
that to
me
me?"
absolutely crazy. All right, I got a couple other interesting kind of things.
Oh, can I say real quick? We heard from Just.
Yes.
We heard from hold on. We heard from Just. I'm getting information from all of my guys that I think you say is JUSS. Remember his sister, transgender sister, is missing. 2 days ago, he got a call that they had found her car, but that's it.
So they're not sharing any other information.
And as far as Karen Phillips, her daughter that's missing, the postal worker in Kiera, the postal worker in Chicago, she has no information. She said that I reached out to him and she just said, "No, ma'am, there's been nothing, but thank you for your prayers." So y'all continue to pray for them.
Also, the West brothers reward has been increased to $125,000. The California City Boys, as they're calling them, missing California City Boys to be featured on Investigation Discovery Channel. So that's going to generate some leads. I can tell you what, that you imagine how wide reaching their channel is, that TV on cable TV. And once it's on there, it'll be forever on there until they're found. So that's going to be a real good thing. But the most interesting news, and I don't know what to think about this. Y'all tell me if this you feel like this is uh what they should do. I can think of a lot of better ways to spend your time looking for your daughter than the Summer Wells. The parents of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells created a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, Don Wells Family Official, includes 5 videos as of Thursday evening. I have not looked at this channel, but it's either going to do two things. It could open up, if he or the mother's talking, you never know what evidentiary value that they may put out on there. So, um, I don't know. What do y'all think about that? I mean, I don't know what I mean, really. What do you think about that?
They're talking about Brian right now.
Uh what Brian with
Brian London.
laundry? We'll talk about that in just a second. What do you tell me what you think about that?
Okay,
Yeah,
Beach Bum, I
you
am
know.
with you. We're gonna revisit that case because that's a case that bothers me. The Michael Chambers
Yeah, the
case.
Michael Chambers case. Um, I don't know. We want to also remember, Maui, I appreciate that information you sent me. I'm going to read over that and pick through it and see if we can't discuss that on our channel.
Tuesday. So, I'm sorry.
We want to remember this girl missing in Australia. We discussed it the other night. I have not heard anything from anybody on if she was found. Um, and Maggie's playing in the
I'm
floor
sorry.
with a
She's
ball.
attacking the ball.
Yes, attacking the ball on the floor. But if somebody hears something, an update on this case, I would appreciate it if you would let me know. Uh, the We'll discuss some on the Brian Lowry case if you want to before we do this. But I want to just go over what we're
See,
talking about first on this our the thumbnail on our video tonight. We're going to discuss some missing person cases in the area around where we're staying up here in Milwaukee. And what I'm going to ask y'all to do, if you got a missing person case in the area, and I know everybody, I don't care where you live, somebody is missing from your area, your state, or around your county or whatever that has not been found. If you could just send me one person or as many as you like, but send me a couple people that you think that you would like to see featured here, then we will let me have a day or two to research them all and see what I can find out. Any updates, then we will feature those people on the channel and credit you if you want to with who sent it in. But send it to the missing live stream. My dog. I tell you what, we got a special dog. Let me get this ball. This is the ball that I have.
That's bigger than a tennis
It is
ball.
bigger than a tennis ball, and I just throw it around in here because you can't, even though it could break something. I just toss it up in the air and let her get it.
And how many times have I said
I
no playing ball in the house?
I know it. I know it. But she's not gonna be happy. Hey,
if your granddaughter was missing, would you be like Summer's grandma and take off to help the family member in Wisconsin? They have home care agencies to help family members.
if my daughter was missing, I'm telling you, I'd be a madman about trying to get all the
But
press
you know, Tommy, you
and
really
everything.
nobody grieves the same and nobody acts the same.
I'm telling you, I would be a madman. I'd be
Yes,
camped out on the news people's door wanting something. I'd talk to, I'd just be crazed with trying to get publicity. I mean, it's the only way you're going to find them is to make people aware of the situation.
that's how come Gabby was found.
And also, I think that going out and hunting down people that she associated with and trying to see if they know anything. Yeah, it you know, go to the
Maggie,
oh gosh.
stop.
Maggie puts her nose under the computer.
Maggie, stop.
Talk a little bit about the Brian Landry situation. I'm surprised that they did verify his the identity of the remains so fast, but I think they felt like they needed to do that because they have an ongoing protest in front of the parents' home, and there were so many people um, that were saying this can't be him, this may be somebody else, and that they felt like that they put somebody there, maybe a homeless person. There was just all kinds of rumors going around. I did talk to various people about the fact that how much remains would be um, found at the time. And here's what you got. I feel like my hair is sticking out. I got a horn or something going there.
You do.
But anyway, there's a few things that kind of is I'm wondering about is that area was underwater, all the rains. If the body had been eaten on by alligators or other animals, I'm sure small fish have and all kinds of microorganisms and stuff had devoured some of the body. But a body underwater, a lot of times, especially if the water is not deep and is warm water, Florida water like that, you would have a different type of decomposition of the body than you would if you were say the body had been in a lake and had been underwater and been cold or whatever. The body could be almost intact on
Well,
that. So we don't know what. I'm sure still it was not enough. He needed to be identified by dental records, and that's how I understand he was identified from dental records and DNA. But I have some issues with the fact that the parents went out that day and went directly. My understanding is they were instrumental in him being found. Either went to the area. I don't know exactly what happened, but or how or who they did find him. But it's weird that the parents went out that day and he was found. So, but I think that they will of course come back and tell us approximately how many days that he has been deceased or been, it may be as many as 30 days since he was discovered. So, it's going to be interesting to see how long what the coroner or the medical examiner says he's been dead, how long he's been dead. So, I don't know. It's the
Mau-
FBI said they're going to be out there 7 days.
Maui said that um, BM filed a civil suit against
Yeah.
everyone in the government.
What? Barry did?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can file all he wants. Uh, there's also there's a person that had a sign in front of the laundry's home that supposedly the laundries went out there and removed it, and so they filed a $40 civil suit in small claims court, I would guess, against them for removing their sign.
$40.
$40. So $40 for the sign. I've seen the lawsuit. I saw it written
Okay.
down somewhere. And basically all that is just you know, $40. I mean, it cost them $25 to file the thing. In Alabama for small claims court, it was $25.
Are they looking for 15 minutes of fame?
Probably.
Mm.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting in the end how this comes out. I don't think this thing is over. As far as being no one else involved, I'm anxious to see if the parents, um,
They found his journal too, didn't they?
yeah, but if a journal's been underwater, I mean, it depends on if
Because I'm wondering if he wrote
if
about
it-
killing those other two girls.
I don't think he killed those
I
other
do.
two girls. I don't think so.
I think he did.
No, I
It's
don't
too
think
much of a
so.
coincidence.
I don't think so.
My criminal mind says yes.
Well, I don't think so. But I think that they said that I did read something earlier today. I was reading. It said 5 people have been found because of Gabby's disappearance. 5 different people have been found dead
That wouldn't have been
that
found.
wouldn't have been found. One was up there when they were hunting for Brian up there on the Appalachian Trail. They discovered somebody dead. It wasn't associated, and the other 4 were associated around looking for Gabby. One was a suicide out there in that area. You put a lot of search people out there in a certain area, you're gonna find stuff. That's just the way it is.
T.S. Jackson said, I've heard 2 different stories. 1, the parents went out, and 2, the FBI asked them to come out after finding him and his stuff. I don't know what to believe. I was watching the news tonight, and they said that the parents led the police to his body, to his remains.
Yeah, and somebody
Hey, Gulf Coast
said,
girl.
I heard that maybe they're gonna look into it, but supposedly maybe that somebody had called the parents. I don't know.
Um, Maui, you said you didn't think that they were in the area at the time, or I think you're talking about the 2 girls. The coincidences that I'm talking about is the fact that Gabby was in one of them worked in a coffee shop in the area, Moab, wherever, and Gabby went in and was seen talking to them, and then for them to be parked in the same area, campground. I don't know. They don't have a suspect in the girls' murders. I really do feel like that he had something to do with both of them. Gabby was talking to
He
them.
didn't have a gun, and they were shot.
There was somebody had a gun.
Yeah, the person who shot the girls had a gun.
No, I thought that they said
they didn't have it. He did not have a gun. That's what I've heard.
I thought they said he did have a gun.
No, I don't
Okay,
think
well,
so.
did she have a gun, Gabby?
No, she wasn't old
We
enough.
don't know.
She wasn't 21.
Hello, Gulf Coast girl.
But anyway, That's all debatable stuff. I guess we'll find out later down the road. Um,
Maui said, how would they know rumors? Yeah, and
yeah,
we had a rumor start here one night that we had to stop it real quick. I can't even remember what the rumor was. It was something that I said that somebody took wrong, and I don't know. But anyway, um, rumors are bad. They can get started, and it becomes a wildfire that there's just no end to it.
yeah. I don't know. I've heard so many things. Um, I've heard so many things. We don't know. I want to find out.
Gabby was 22, by the way.
Okay, I want to find out if when they think the time of death was and the cause of death for Brian, because if he killed himself by suicide,
Gunshot?
gunshot,
Where would he have
or
a gun?
if he killed himself a gunshot, or if he hung himself, or if he took pills or something like that. We don't know. There has to be some cause of death. You can't drown yourself. I mean, I suppose you could if you were. I don't think you could drown yourself because your
You're
survival instinct would kick in. I don't think you could.
You almost drowned me that time when you took me scuba diving. I almost
I
died.
did not nearly drown
And there
you.
was no life insurance at the time, so I don't know
You
what you
had
would
it.
have
You
gained.
had air tank on.
It didn't help. I was claustrophobic underwater. I was dying. And I
Uh,
will not go scuba diving with him because of that experience.
well, the thing was, you got all freaked out. We saw it. We went to a maritime museum the other day, and they had a hyperbaric chamber in there for the bends. And she said, I would not go in there. And I said, if you had the bends and if you either die of the bends or go in the tank, you would go in there. She said, well, they'd have to medicate me, you know. She said, that's why I won't scuba dive because I'm never going inside there.
Beach Bum says, careful, Thomas, you're recording.
Yeah, I've never ever taken her anywhere that has been dangerous. I mean, that diving, scuba diving under there, you had an air tank on your back.
And I had rocks around my waist.
You had a weight belt on.
Well, it was rocks.
No, it wasn't.
And
It
I
was
couldn't
a weight
get off
belt.
the bottom.
And you actually took the weight belt off and went up like a rocket, and there it went down to the bottom. I had to go down there and get it.
Well, that was your fault, not mine.
Well, let's talk about some people that are missing in this area.
Listen, T.S. said, my ex saved me from drowning. He probably regretted it later.
That's terrible.
Sometimes y'all crack me up.
Okay, this little
Welcome,
baby,
Brian.
and we did not go here. We did not look and see.
These are two brothers.
I know that we featured them the other night.
Mm-hmm.
If these had been found or not, that's probably what she should. Dana passed these on to me. The brothers here, the two top ones are brothers, and their mother, but their non-parental custody rights mother is a suspect with them, but they're not saying that's totally true.
Time out. Okay, so the pictures you're going to see now, this is people that are missing near us,
Yeah,
where we are
now.
And some of them are old, and some of them are fairly new. That one's 21st.
Yeah, the two boys here, Adrian Shaw, 3 years old, missing on 9/22/21, and Kaya Haywood, age 2, missing 9/22/21. They think the non-custodial mother has got them, but at this time there's not much information. There's Jessica Estada, 10/20/21. She's 15. She's also missing. This all the information we have on them now from Dane County, Wisconsin. And Arthur Polar, 13, missing from Milwaukee. Any information should be notify Milwaukee PD. And Milwaukee is not an overly dangerous place, but they do have crime just like anywhere
It's
else.
not overly.
It's a big city.
It's
a big city. I mean,
it is.
they've had. I've said it the other night. They've had too many young police officers die in this city. There's been a bunch of police officers shot in the last few years up here. And this top one, of course, we can say is deceased now. They
Yeah.
discovered today. Major Harris was found inside a dumpster. That's,
And
I
you
can't
don't know
imagine.
who
That's,
killed him.
yeah, well, the boy took him, so I think he's a big suspect that
Yeah,
he
I do
killed him.
too. But
But he
with
shot
the other
himself, took
three
a
people,
coward way out.
but the other three people that were arrested for his mother's murder. I mean, you don't know
Yeah.
anything.
Um,
They found him by a clue, though. Somebody called in a tip and said you need to go back and revisit this area.
well, maybe then whoever they found him with that knew where he was, then they'll, you know. Byrona, how you say that? Kilbrew?
Tyrona Kilbrew.
17, missing from Milwaukee on 10/11/21. Carrie Shadrigger, 16.
See, look at the age of these people.
16. Well, some of these I would think would be runaways. But it's still, we talked about that. They get sucked up into the trafficking. They can be trafficked if they get out. Cheyenne Rogers, 16, from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. I wonder if she is indigenous.
I would think that with that name, she's probably indigenous.
Well, where she's from might be. Marshall Schmidt, 17, from Wausau, Wisconsin. Is that Wausau? What? Did I not pronounce that right?
I don't know, because when you do that, I can't pronounce it then.
I'll do it all of them then. What is that?
Jermail
Wright, missing from Milwaukee, 13 years old.
Last seen missing. Oh my gosh, he's been missing a long time. Over a year.
Oh, no, he hasn't.
9/15/2020.
Oh, okay. Juan Hernandez, 15, missing a year for him also, 6/15/2020.
How can all these kids be missing?
What is how do you say that?
Treadell
Morrison, 13, 8/25/2021. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of these may have returned home if they were runaways.
Well,
no,
because
check.
It would have been taken off. This was updated today.
It's updated today. Ricky Bryant, now the age would be 75, missing from 1949. Wow.
Look at that, y'all.
It's amazing. A child looked like DNA would have turned up something by now.
Dwayne Hardwick, age 16, missing 7/26/21, from Milwaukee. Milwaukee's got a problem. The next one is Gayla Hill. I don't know how you say that, but I'm going to say that. Age 18, missing 7/24/21, from Milwaukee.
Lindsay Shandia
Pennington,
17, missing since 6/14/2021, from Marion, Wisconsin.
I don't know if it's parental abductions or not, because this is just off of that. You can go, let's see where I found it.
Camilla Stewart, 13, missing 6/29/21. Usually if they'll say what it is, but these are like
this is on the National Missing Children's website, and y'all can go on there and check the ones from your state. Right. If you want to. Just go on there and look at those, and see if
Michael Smith, 15, 6/7/21.
Venetia, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Carter, age 15, missing 2/15/21 from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Milwaukee's big, though.
Nevaeh Jones, age 17, missing 3/2/21, missing from Wisconsin Rapids.
Yeah. Milwaukee is, I would say, 2 million, 3 million. I don't know exactly how many people's in the city. It's huge. Joanne Wheeler, 18, missing 3/25/21 from Milwaukee.
Okay, wait a minute. Somebody asked about if they could be with their parents, and then T.S. Jackson said, "I just feel like they're alive if they're with their parents." But T.S., that's not always
No,
true.
because you look at Suzanne Smith, drove her kids in the creek.
Chris Watts.
Chris Watts. You look at like we was talking about the other day. There was a Vietnamese man down in Mobile that took all 4 of his kids
under the age of
under at 6 and threw them off the bridge and killed them. So you don't know what craziness. A lot of parents that do those murder their own children say, if I can't have them, nobody can, and that's dangerous. Cassandra Yang, 17, missing since 11/26/2020.
Almost a whole year.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Markin, age 20, missing 10/11/2015.
Wow.
From Schofield, Wisconsin. Robert Fritz, age 44 now, missing 5/14/1983, missing from Campbellsport, Wisconsin.
You got to wonder what we need to go back and take some of these cases and dig into them.
I agree. Let's do that.
And see, but it just seems like every time you turn on the news, there's somebody fresh that had disappeared.
Lori Vallow. I don't. Maui. Elaborate on Lori Vallow.
Oh, that's the Vallow case. That's the 2 kids of the. Isn't it the guy
thought she was
God or a cult?
Yeah. Thank you. I forgot. Gulf Coast girl is still stuck on the rocks around my waist.
Okay. It was a weight belt. A real live, you buy the weight belt from a scuba place.
Felt like cinder blocks to me.
No. Kayla Berg, 28, missing since 8/11/2009 from Antigo, Wisconsin. And you got to think about the families here. They're missing they just don't know.
Alexis Patterson. She would be 26 years old now. She went missing on 5/3/2002 from Milwaukee. Jean Cloud, age 29 now, been missing since 1/25/2012 from Black River Falls, Wisconsin. Sarah Bushland, age 41 now, missing 4/3/1996, missing from Spooner, Wisconsin. Yeah, I think we take some of these old cases and look into them.
Yeah.
Somebody knows something. Beach Bum says, weight belt, Thomas? Dakota Menger, age 24 now, missing 8/20/1999, missing from, I can't say it, Wisconsin.
Nakusa.
James Mummer, age 20 now, missing 9/6/2018, missing from La Crosse, Wisconsin. James Egan, age 67 now, missing since 8/6/72 from Mequon, Wisconsin. Adam Algemar, age 13 now, missing 6/9/2014, missing from Milwaukee. Lord have mercy. These parents, there's a lot of them, y'all. We've got 2 more pages, and then that's it. Madeline Edmond, age 31 now, missing 7/29/2005 from La Crosse, Wisconsin. Now she's
There's a
missing.
few of them from La Crosse.
Yeah, and here's McQuana again. Orrin Anderson, now 64, missing since 8/26/73. Suzanne Schultz, age 60, missing since 1978, 12/1/1978, missing from Black Earth, Wisconsin.
I wonder how Black Earth got its name. That's what I always wonder. You know, so when I look at this, I don't remember any people in my graduating class of, I think we had 1,200, 1,500 in my class that was missing.
Mm.
I can't think of anybody from our school that turned up missing, and
In all the years that we were there.
we had like 3,500 people that went to our high school. It was huge, and I think it was one of the biggest classes in. Uh,
Mine was the biggest class.
no, I mean the school was
Yeah.
one of the biggest schools in Alabama at that time, like 3,500 students, and I don't remember a single person that came up missing, not volunteer. I mean that other than ran away. I knew guys that ran away, but they just mainly just went out in the woods and camped out for a couple of days and went home. Endangered missing Kathleen Joberg, now 64, became missing in 1974 from Concord, Wisconsin. And family abduction, Stacy Randolph would be 33, missing in 2000. See, none of these said family abduction except for this one. So all those others were not parental abductions. 2000, from 2000, from Medford, Wisconsin.
So she is old enough now to have,
Yeah.
if she's alive.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on with that. But, I don't remember. Do any of y'all remember anybody in your high school that came up missing, or your a good friend that came up missing? I mean, I can think back. I ran around with about five or six, seven of us. And of course, there's some people that I don't know where they are now, of course, but I didn't hear they were missing. I had a lot of my friends have died
Okay.
of from various causes, illnesses, but I lost one of my good buddies I ran around with. He died, I think, of cancer, and then one of my other good buddies died like 2 or 3 years ago. But I mean, as far as missing, I don't
Okay.
know of
Do y'all
anybody.
remember Katie Cawthorn? We did the hashtag Katie Cawthorn and had her I think it was Melissa's her sister, I think. Melissa.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Melissa came on. That was Katie's father, and Melissa came on, right?
Right.
Okay. So Melissa, I had sent her a message. She said yes. I asked, was there any word about Katie? She said, actually, yes, the detective have been in contact with me multiple times in the past 2 weeks. They've gotten a team of detectives together and have been interviewing leads again and are going to start polygraphs on several people.
Excellent.
That is a praise the Lord.
Yes,
They also
excellent.
did a search of her mother's property, and Saturday they are expanding the search area, adding more searchers. They are working
I
on her
doing here?
case finally. They didn't find anything at the first search. Hopefully, we'll have more luck on the second.
That is excellent.
See, and all it took was
Calling the right people,
Yeah.
are shaking the bush, as I say. If you gotta be the greasy wheel to get the grease. Uh my poor dog. I tell you what, I hate. I just say something out of the blue, but my dog is sitting here in my chair, driver's chair, is turned around, and she's just about to go to sleep. She's just sitting up here, just about to go to sleep. Yeah, I'm talking about you,
Adam
Maggie.
says that he can't. Adam Wilder says, I can't recall any high school persons going missing to my exact knowledge either. And Bob says, I've never known anyone personally who has gone missing.
I mean, you think about that. I mean, I don't, and we look at these cases and they're missing, all up in the years, all those years. Now, there was this one girl that we have featured on here also, the girl from Pensacola, while I was in law enforcement down in South Alabama. Uh, she did go missing over there in Pensacola, and I was very interested in that case. But when it's in a different state, even as close as it was to us, it wasn't like we could do anything about it. It was, I couldn't go over there and in Pensacola area and do anything. We did follow every lead possible in our area, but it
Yeah, with
wasn't
the girl at the
nothing.
beach.
Yeah, the girl at the beach. We featured her. We featured her on here before, and they had a video of her crossing over the Pensacola Bridge, and the bridge, a camera did not show anybody else but one person in the car. I think they couldn't tell who was in the car, and they some neighbors did see somebody around her car, a male, but it's impossible to know if there's any other information. Sometimes the police will hold some information close to the vest because it may be the thing that they can, they may have a witness come forward and say, "Oh, I know exactly what happened. This happened. This happened," and they'll may contradict something that actually happened they discovered during their investigation, and they'll know the information was bogus. Or they might interview somebody and they may say something that only the person that actually took her would know. So they hold a lot of information that it's not going to do any good to put it out, but it would be something that it would validate or show that somebody is just saying that. 'Cause you'll get all kinds of witnesses that will come forward on during cases that don't know anything about it. Just like we had when they in the Suzanne Morphew case, you would not believe the type of emails that I got claiming they knew where Suzanne was and showing me pictures blown up 50 times on Google Earth, and they create, you can look at anything. You can look at a cloud and blow that cloud up and think, "Oh, well, I see where somebody is laying in the cloud." I mean, it was just not, it was garbage. I don't know even what to say it. But and I'm not calling the FBI and giving them information unless I can say coordinates are this, or here's a video where they can look at it and see something, or information. Like I did call the FBI on the case Leah Cavett case. Somebody called me, gave me information, an address, and people's names involved where she supposedly was. I called the FBI and I gave them the names and the address and told them who I was and what the information was. The FBI called me back. Appreciate the information. We'll check it out. As far as I know, nothing was done about it. So, I'm not afraid to call in the information if it's, I'm not going to just say, go out here and look in in this sector without information, because I take it and look at it from a law enforcement standpoint. Could I act on that information if I got it? If somebody called me and it was my case, could I act on that information? Or is it just something to put back? You know, I know that when the Son of Sam, just for instance, there's a Netflix on the Son of Sam. There was, I don't know if it's still out there or not, but they interviewed him or they had some information on the Son of Sam. Um, and it was just put in a file because the information was not that it was not they didn't think it was valid enough information to follow up until later on. I think somebody called in about a barking dog named Sam and a guy that threatened to kill the bark. It was something like that. It was, and it gave a street number, and it turns up a street name when it turns up when they finally interviewed him it all came together, and they looked up and said, "Hey," and I don't know if y'all know how the son of Sam was caught, but he actually had a parking ticket in an area where someone was killed, and it started off of that. It was it started off the parking, just something little as a parking ticket. So, you know, I don't know. I like to watch those shows because it you learn the background of what was going on in the investigation. You know,
Okay. Katie Cawthorn's dad, he was on our show.
yes.
Okay, he is in the hospital with COVID and pneumonia.
Wow.
So Melissa's gonna join us next week
Right.
to give us an update, but he probably won't be able to. I told her to, if she can go in to the hospital room, go in and pray for him and ask God to cause every part of his body to line up and work the way that he created it to.
We just had a friend that we talked to the other day that had COVID. We didn't even know it. He lives back where we used to live in South Alabama. He was in a coma for 22 days, and he he got COVID.
But he's well.
He's well now.
He's not completely out of. I mean,
No, he's learned to walk
yeah, he's got
again.
to learn to walk again.
That was weird. But you know, I don't know if I told y'all or not. Um, Back when I was in law enforcement, um, we had a case where we had a young black male that was basically breaking into houses and raping women, and they called him the 5 Points Rapist. And when I was there, they put us a on a detail where we were in plain clothes, and they dropped us off. This area was a 5 points area. It was a section of the city that was about 5 blocks by 5 blocks. And this guy was, he would go, he was a young black male, he was shaved head. He would go and break into people's houses and rape the women, molest them, rape them. And it didn't matter if the husband was home or not, he'd tie them up. We were just fortunate he didn't kill anybody. Um, but so I was on a surveillance detail where we would come into work at 8 o'clock at night. We'd get off at 4 in the morning, and they would drop us in this area of 5 points area. And we would lay in the woods, we'd lay in the bushes, we'd be on top of buildings, churches, and the area. I never did get the church detail where I was up on top. I was always in the alleyways. I've laid in bushes all night in alleyways. We chased him twice in the neighborhood and lost him. He got out of the neighborhood before we could get him. But as things worked out, I was fortunate enough to arrest him after we went back into uniform. Um, and I was fortunate enough to arrest him about 2 months later after he committed a rape, and the girl fought him off, and he was bloody all up and
Tell him how
down.
it happened.
Um, I was actually working on the north side of town. We had a north south frequencies, so I had to go down and get gas on the south end of town. So I switched over to south. Or no, I didn't switch over. I was on north frequency, and but my radio, I could hear what was going on. They had a canine on the ground, and they were tracking this guy, and I knew that what he looked like. So I told Northern Frequency, I said, I'm going to go and sit on the parkway and just watch traffic. And so the first guy that drove by was a black male, but he did not look like the guy. So the next guy comes by, had the shaven head, just like I looked. I said, well, I'm going to stop him and document who this is. So I blue lighted him, and the south end frequency was tied up because they had a canine on the ground. I couldn't tell them anything. So I tell them on the north frequency, I say I'll be out with this car and get the tag number. And I walk up on the car, and the black male is sitting in the car in his underwear and has blood all over his underwear. And his blue jeans are beside him with his pants. The pockets are white, inside your blue jeans. And they had blood all over. And so I realized, this is the guy. And so I pulled I pulled my gun out on him, and he starts trying to put on his pants. I tell him, turn the car off. No, he doesn't. And so I reach in and turn the car off myself and holster my gun. And we had trying to wrestle him to get out of the car. I'm halfway in his window. He's halfway. He manages to get the car started, and he drags me down the road about 15 or 20 feet, and I fall off the car, jump in my car. We get into a chase. I chase him for about 2 miles. He pulls into the police, where our police academy is, sort of as a old airport area, and he loses control of the car, and he jumps out and runs. And of course, I'm in a lot better shape back then, so I chase him, tackle him in the field, and I put my gun in the back of his head, and I told him in no uncertain terms that I would kill him if he got up and run. And about that time, the cavalry gets there. We put him in handcuffs.
And he got a reward for catching him.
Well, I didn't get a reward.
Not a reward. I mean, a medal.
I got a citation.
A citation.
It was.
It's called a reward to me.
Yeah, it was.
Reward for a job well done.
Right. Basically, it was a citation for capturing him. But that was, that was fun. And at the time, I didn't think it was too fun being drugged down the road in the way it was. And so but I did actually catch the guy. So it's something to think back on. And he is I think he got life without parole in prison. So anyway, that was that. It's funny though. While I was doing my report in the investigative place, my sergeant walked by me and he said, "Tommy, I appreciate it. You just made me a lieutenant." And you know what? He got lieutenant about 4 or 5 months after that. I personally did not want to be promoted because of that, because I wanted to go back to narcotics where I left to this, and then I stayed. That's where I wanted. I actually turned down a promotion when I was in narcotics.
Adam said, "Do you feel lucky, punk? Don't try to run from the law." Reminds me of that parrot. Run,
yeah, run. I've never seen our cat do that. Play with the.
I'm aggravating him.
Aggravating. She's over here aggravating the cat with a string off of her jacket, and I've never even seen the cat play with a string or anything. So he must be feeling good today, being outside.
He not depressed anymore because he was outside.
He was getting like an allergy. He was getting kind of depressed being inside all the time.
Hey, don't eat my shirt.
Well, I tell you, I do. I will share some stories later on. I've got some funny stories to share sometime.
Share the one about Roger going through that door.
Well, I don't know if Roger wants me to share.
You don't have to say his last name. They don't know who he was.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I've got some that I'll share.
He fought the law and
some crazy stuff. It's a wonder I'm not dead from the fumes of being around labs and stuff. We had a meth lab. The products of a meth lab, not a meth lab, it was a PCP lab. The products of a PCP lab stored in our office. Our office was in a old hangar of an airport. It was the old baggage compartment that our office was in. We had about 6, 7 desks in there, and we put all of this stuff from a PCP lab that blew up, and we ended up investigating it in our office, and that stuff was full of ether, and man, it was just stunk so bad. That's when we tried not to stay in our office at all. At the time we got to work, we were like, "We're out of here. We'll see you."
Hey,
And we
stop.
left, and we didn't come back to unless we arrested somebody. We didn't even come back all night.
You gonna slap me?
But anyway,
Come up here and
uh,
tell everybody how happy you are.
look,
Say,
this is Moses.
oh, don't be camera shy. Tell them how happy you are that you get to go outside and you can see all the things you want to see. Hey,
Yeah,
what's them claws?
Maui said we need to teach you leash train him. He
He
just
don't do
doesn't do good
leashes.
on leashes. You put a leash around his
That'd be
neck,
like me
and
trying
he
to put a leash
starts
around Tommy.
rolling like an alligator on the leash. It's funny. He just does not do that. Uh,
Oh, sorry. It's okay. Don't chew on these.
yeah, these labs, Beach Bum. I'm gonna tell you a little story about a meth lab, and this is all. I'm not gonna say where it is or what it was, but uh, we
Hey,
had
hey, hey. That's my
during
cord.
FEMA's run from Katrina, we had a bunch of methies come over, and they were put up under government housing in a motel on the beach. It was one of these resident inn type places, but it wasn't a resident inn. It was another name for it. It actually made the news. I'll just tell you that it made the news. They had a meth lab. They were using the microwave inside of the kitchenette to help make meth. And when we went in there that night, our guys went in there on a disturbance call and discovered the operation, meth lab being operated. And they called us. And when I got there, the officer had the front glass open and the back door open so they could blow all the fumes out. But we ended up arresting them. It ended up making national news of our arrest of this place. And did you know no, it wasn't Navarre. Did you know that room, as far as I know, is still being rented for people to stay in there? And I don't think they did anything but wipe it down. I told them that they needed to call somebody from the EPA and get them to go in there, because I personally would have taken it all the way down to the studs and rebuilt it back. But it wasn't, the advice from me was not taken to heart. So uh, I would not want to stay in that place. I tell you that, because that stuff soaks into the walls and everything,
Adam
the
said
sheetrock and everything.
a former tenant living beneath me where I used to live was manufacturing methamphetamines.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it soaks in the walls, it soaks through the floors.
He could have been blown up,
Uh,
couldn't he?
yeah, well, we did. We had that. Uh,
Condo.
we actually went out to a place where uh, they had a meth lab, and a woman comes out of the door of the meth lab, and it blows up, it blows the doors, windows, and everything. And I'm not talking about just the frames, it blew the whole frames in. And they put one guy was burnt like 40% of his body. They had to fly him out in a helicopter, and halfway there they realized, hey, this guy got injured from a meth lab, and then turned around, landed the chopper, and had to take him by ambulance to the hospital. The other one was just arrested, but we worked that meth lab. I personally worked that. I was called out on that meth lab. I was a supervisor and called out. But it's super dangerous. But you wouldn't believe, in the just little beach towns around Florida and Alabama, all the way across to Mississippi, people will rent these little motels, and they will start a lab in there. Now the way they do it now, uh, yeah, it was the helicopter had to land and be scrubbed out because the fumes and stuff gets in it. But they'll do the shake and bake. They'll make meth in a little bottle, They call it a shake
Coke
and
bottle.
bake Coke bottle or something a little bit bigger, maybe a 2 liter, and then once it starts getting it'll start swelling, they'll burp it, and that's what happened in this apartment. The guy was burping it, and the fumes got in the apartment, and the girl came in with a cigarette, and it just wham, it blew up. So
Tommy
yeah,
told me when I was doing foreclosed properties, getting them ready to go back on the market, I would go in and clean the houses out. He told me if you find any meth, you need to leave it where it's at and call the police. And do not pick up any bottles with any
and I'll
kind
tell
of
you this real quick:
stuff in it.
if you see like if you're driving down the road and you see a cooler laying on the side of the road, don't bother it. Go on about your business, because a lot of these people will use coolers to to make their meth in, and they'll throw them on the side of the road when they get through, because you can't ever put something in them again. I mean, they're all kinds of stuff, chemicals been inside of them.
But when you have meth in a and they poured stuff down the sink and everything, all that's supposed to
Hmm.
be torn out, right?
Well, they don't need you don't. They probably wouldn't pour it down the
But they
sink.
use microwaves.
Yeah, they use microwaves, but they don't. I mean, that night they were using it. They were There's two or three different ways to make meth. You can make it with called an anhydrous method, where they use like anhydrous liquid fertilizer. That's when you steal them stealing anhydrous from from it's a fertilizer type thing, or they use a red phosphorus method where they use like the match heads off of matches. And I'm not going to go in the whole thing and tell you how to make meth, but
Please don't.
we
Look
we
what Adam
actually
said.
did that. I went to a school to learn how they made them. Manufacturers smell a great deal of ammonia. That's it. That
And you
is,
don't have cats.
yeah, that is anhydrous method. In fact, we had a neighbor
Hey, Black Widow.
that actually was making it. It smelled like kitty litter,
Ugh.
kitty urine, basically. You have red phosphorus method, and you have the anhydrous method, or you have like a shake and bake type thing that they make them now. But I'm gonna tell you, in a way, it's kind of a good, in a way, it's kind of a bad. It used to be they had a lot of labs, like we lived up around Boaz, and they called it Meth Mountain for years up there, because it was meth is a homegrown type of drug. But now it's cheaper for them to get it in Atlanta from the Mexican mafia, or from Mexico, where it's very strong, very potent, and very um, uh, high grade, than it is for them to try to make it themselves. It's cheaper to just buy it from Atlanta.
Lizbeth said, I always stop to open coolers. I found kittens 2 separate times, years apart.
Wow. Well, be careful. That's all I'm saying. If you go out there and you open a cooler and there's nothing in it, don't reach in there. Don't use it. What I'm saying is, I would rather just call somebody and have somebody come and pick it up, because we have found 2 separate occasions they were using it as a when they're making meth with anhydrous ammonia. They'll use it as a kind of expansion chamber for the fumes to run down there and cool off, and the liquid, it's basically a vapor, and it cools. As it cools and everything, it turns into a liquid. But it's yeah. But anyway, we could I'm not we I went to a school, narcotics school, where they said, okay guys, we're going to show you how meth's made, and they actually made it
Oh,
right there.
God.
But you got to be careful, because it's highly explosive. But yes, call the police if you see something. It doesn't, if you see, on just like, if you go somewhere and you see a bunch of this stuff, maybe they'll throw it on the side of the road. It'd be like red phosphorus matches or match stuff. If you find lithium strips, or you find batteries that have been broken open, lithium batteries that have been broken open, um, you find Red Devil Lye can out there, or maybe some plastic hose, or Sudafed packets, empty packets, or just something, call the police and let them come out there and take care of it, because basically it is a hazmat type situation.
Are you answering Elizabeth's question? I'll be
What?
careful. Should I call the police?
Yes, call the police. Absolutely.
See, I always didn't want to call the police out because I was
Call
like,
the
I didn't want to
police.
bother them.
Call the police. Let me tell you something. You hear something around your house in the middle of the night, call the police. Oh, I don't want to bother the police. Yes, that's what they live for, to come out and catch somebody breaking into something. I
Well,
mean, I've rode around on midnight shift in smaller. I worked in a smaller town. I might not see any, not even answer a call on third shift, maybe 2 or 3 calls. I like to go to calls. I like to catch bad guys. So even now, I would, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
okay, you're not getting. Like Willis
Okay.
said, we had people in an RV cooking meth next to our store in the back. The smell was so bad we had to close the store for a month. Adam
Yeah.
said, "Well, unfortunately, the county I live in has a huge methamphetamine problem, literally."
Yep. It's bad all over. And
Are
it's,
you on Meth
yeah.
Mountain?
uh, yeah. But like I said, a lot of if they're closer to a big city, it's cheaper and a lot less hassle for them to buy it, and get a better product. Fortunately, that you don't have as many meth labs. Um, yeah. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot. You want to see a lot of PCP labs.
Okay, now, before
Yeah.
we leave and go,
Okay.
remind them what you want them to do about finding.
Yes.
Wait, let me finish. Remind them about the analytics of subscribing and hitting the like button and all that.
Yes, we want to, and it's something that we are putting out. If you're watching this and you've watched this whole thing now, um, we've noticed in our analytics. And I'll go over to Google Analytics, and I do look on there, and I see who's subscribing. About 70% of the people that watch our videos never subscribe. And if you know somebody that would like to maybe be involved in this type of channel, encourage them to subscribe. We really care about that. We really care. And if you would leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up or give us a thumbs down. Lets us know, hey, maybe this is not what we need to, the line of our program that we need to pursue. Google or YouTube itself actually does react to thumbs up and thumbs down because they feel like that you are having subscribers interacting with your channel. So it does. We would like for you to do that.
And send
Uh,
us
and send us
missing.
the missing. If in your area, if you have anybody in your area you want us to follow, it doesn't have to be a new case. It can
There
be
you
an
go.
old case.
And we're going to go back and revisit some of the Milwaukee cases and see if we can't get some extra information. Cold cases are cold cases because nobody's doing anything about them.
Yeah.
I have been telling Tommy for the past 2 or 3 weeks that I want us to revisit Michael Chambers' case. And if
we
y'all
will,
have
but I
not,
don't want to revisit it unless we have some good new information
well,
because we're just beating a dead horse.
but we're not. Okay, y'all do some research on Michael Chambers, the firefighter who is his body's never been found. Just do some reading up on it, and then let's see.
Okay. Um. All right. Well, we've enjoyed it tonight. Keep the gentleman in your prayers. It's got COVID and the
I think his name is Darnell. Hold on, let me give y'all his name, so you know who to pray for. Um, let's see, Daryl.
Daryl.
Daryl has been in the hospital with COVID and pneumonia, so I don't know that he could make it, but she said I would definitely will.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know what she says about y'all and about us? About y'all, she says, y'all are such good people. Most just don't care. This opened my eyes to how little people care about human lives. So, Melissa's going to be a good one to help other people who have missing family members now because she's going through the process and figuring
Right.
out. So she's going to be a good one. I got a feeling this girl could be a dog with a bone when she wants to be, and that's a good thing to be.
All righty. Well, we will talk to y'all on Tuesday night. We will probably still be up here
T.S. Jackson says she likes beating a
Wisconsin.
dead horse.
Okay.
And Michael Chambers' case deserves to be solved. It does. It's too strange.
And let me say this: if Halloween comes on a Tuesday or Thursday night, I'm not going to be here. Dina could probably do this. I'm going to be with my daughter on her daddy-daughter date to see a concert that I want to see.
You're not getting out of it. It's Sunday.
Okay, good.
Not that you want to get out of it, but you're not getting out of it.
Yeah, I'm going to be with me and my daughter are going to see a concert.
They're having their yearly daughter daddy date.
Yeah,
which is
Dina
fine with
does
me.
not want to see this
It's
group.
Well, it's not that
It's
I
not
don't
your
want.
thing.
Well, but I think I will enjoy just being in the RV, me and
Yeah.
the animals, just talking
Chilling.
about you and
Chilling.
you know, they can complain about the things that you don't do for them, and then if I
Yeah,
say anything,
I'm the one that gets up and like daylight takes them out.
And then if I say anything, they won't tell you.
Right. There you go. All right. Well, y'all have a good night, and we love you.
Black Widow says she's
And-
going to be celebrating her birthday. Is your birthday on April? I mean, on I wish mine was April Fool's. On Halloween. No, they're not going to see heavy metal. Who are you going to see?
We're going to see a Russian group, and I can't tell you the exact name now. They're like Leonardo and Friends. They're a Russian group that they're all over YouTube. If you look up Chicago cover band, they do all of Chicago, Steely Dan, Earth, Wind, and Fire. They do a lot, and they sound exactly like that group. I mean, exactly, even in person. I've seen all of their stuff, the studio work on YouTube, but you can watch some of their live performances. They've done 3 tours in the U.S., and every time they sell out. And we were lucky. We got, I think, they had like 4 seats left in the auditorium, and we booked this thing, or my daughter booked it for me about 2.5 months prior to this. So when I heard they were going to be in Milwaukee, I said, I got to go. So that's who they are. So we're excited about going. It's if you look them up, just look up Chicago cover band. It's like Leonardo and Friends. You'll see what I'm talking about. They're awesome. They really are. So anyway, we love y'all, and be praying. Continue to pray for Julie and Doc. They're having a tough time up there in Idaho. He's not doing well, and we will see you on Tuesday. Y'all have a great weekend. We love y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.